In this video, we will delve into the 9 visions that people often experience at the moment of their death. When someone we love passes away, many questions linger in the minds of those left behind. What sensations do they experience? Are they at peace? Are they free from pain? Memories can be painful, yet the void we feel is also a testament to the profound love we shared. Love does not perish, it simply transforms. If you have experienced the loss of someone close, you might find that closing your eyes brings a sense of their lingering presence. Indeed, thoughts of them often bring a deep ache to the heart. If this resonates with you, this video will provide some comfort. Today, I will discuss the 9 distinct visions that individuals typically encounter at death's threshold. This knowledge stems not only from scriptural references in the Bible, but also from personal testimonies of those who have survived near-death experiences, or NDEs. These individuals have often touched the brink of clinical death, only to return with vivid accounts of their experiences. Initially, one common vision is that of seeing deceased loved ones. At the moment of death, these loved ones appear vividly, ready to lead the dying towards a tranquil and joyous light. Picture a dying person, eyes closed on their deathbed, suddenly awakening in a new realm. As they hover in the liminal space between life and death, familiar faces greet them, not as dreams or illusions, but in genuine presence, anticipating their arrival. They gather in a sacred space shielded by God, for He is the God not of the dead, but of the living. In His eyes, all are alive. Ecclesiastes tells us that the spirit returns to where it came from, where loved ones wait, and then the body returns to the earth as it once was, and the spirit returns to God who bestowed it. At the moment of death, it becomes clear that these departed loved ones are present to guide the dying. There is an absence of fear and solitude, replaced instead by an ineffable peace and a radiant light that bathes everything around. Psalm 36 echoes this sentiment. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light we see light. This suggests that in the divine light, everything becomes clear. It is also reported that as the deceased beholds this light, those nearby may perceive subtle signs, such as a gentle floral fragrance filling the room, a delicate hint from the beyond, a testament to the spirits who arrive to escort their loved one to a tranquil haven. Let's take a moment to connect through our stories in the comments below. Sharing your experiences and feelings about those you've lost can offer immense solace to others in similar situations. Many viewers of this video are navigating the challenging journey of grief, and finding your stories here can provide them with much-needed comfort and a sense of community. By opening up, you aid others in feeling understood and remind them they are not alone in their experiences. For instance, you might share the profound sadness you experienced when losing someone close, how you've coped with that loss, or perhaps relay advice that others gave you which helped during such a difficult time. Your stories could greatly assist many others watching this video. Continuing with our discussion, it's fascinating how at the time of a loved one's passing, those present may occasionally notice a faint floral aroma. This occurrence, steeped in tension and poignancy, acts as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between our earthly lives and the divine. It prompts reflection on the ephemeral nature of our existence and what ultimately holds value when our journey nears its end. At that crucial moment, material wealth, personal achievements, and everyday worries lose their grip, leaving only love, this unseen yet enduring connection to those who have gone before us. As we confront the inevitability of death, we find solace in the words, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." The most profound form of love, one that transcends even death itself, remains with us. In the end, we are all ushered into the light by those who have passed before, as death marks not an ending, but the commencement of a new journey, a testament to the boundless and enduring nature of love. Number 2, a deep sense of detachment from worldly possessions often envelops those nearing the end of their lives. All the worldly goods they once valued, their homes, cars, jewelry, titles, and achievements, suddenly seem insignificant. This detachment is beneficial as it allows them to pass on without being tethered to worldly concerns. Consider the final breaths of someone you hold dear, when the familiar world dissolves into the void. At that pivotal moment, as life slips through their grasp like grains of sand, something remarkable occurs. All that once held importance in the tangible world loses its grip on their heart. At the brink of death, a profound truth unveils itself, a truth we often overlook throughout our lives. When a person is on the verge of passing, a stark realization dawns on them. The possessions, wealth, and objects they labored so hard to amass are nothing more than shadows and illusions, bearing no weight at the threshold between life and death. For we bring nothing into this world, and it is certain we can take nothing out. This realization resonates deeply in those final moments as the dying person releases their grip on all material things, allowing them to move forward, unchained, into the unknown. It's a moment of stark, unfiltered reality. All that they have striven for, everything that once caused concern, simply fades away. What truly matters is not found in physical possessions. It's not the large house, the money in the bank, or the objects that once shaped one's identity. The poignant question arises, what does it benefit a person to gain the whole world, yet lose their soul? Suddenly, this question becomes incredibly relevant. Ultimately, what remains is the essence of the person, unencumbered by worldly ties, a reflection that becomes almost universally insightful. At the end, what persists is something that transcends material existence, something beyond the physical. It's a realization that we all share, yet often overlook in our daily lives. Death brings this truth into sharp relief, a reminder that cannot be overlooked. In that moment, we grasp that true richness lies not in our possessions, but in who we are, in the values we hold in our hearts and souls. Do not gather treasures on earth, where moths and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal, but gather treasures in heaven. At death, the truth of this wisdom becomes evident. It is then that the light shines the brightest, when the soul is liberated from its chains and ascends towards the infinite. This marks the ultimate act of freedom. At journey's end, only what truly matters stands the test. Material things dissolve, and the soul gears up for its grand voyage. This serves as a reminder to us all that in life, what is essential is not what we own, but what we embody, in the love we share and the peace we foster. For in the end, that is the true wealth we can take with us. Number 3, people often witness their own body from above. At the moment of death, individuals frequently report an out-of-body experience where they view their physical form from an elevated perspective, taking in the scene around them. They observe the grieving faces of loved ones and feel the profound emotions of those present. They may even manage a final, silent farewell. Imagine the poignant scene as life's complexities draw to a close. As the last breath is taken, the unimaginable unfolds. Your loved one no longer inhabits their body, yet they haven't vanished entirely. They find themselves hovering, suspended in the liminal space between the living world and eternity. From this vantage point, they gaze upon their still form, encircled by sorrowful expressions of pain and tears. Yet they are detached, observers of their own passing, from a place where they can see and understand everything, yet are apart from it. This moment is one of the most startling experiences a person can have after death. Seeing as a body devoid of its spirit is lifeless. Freed from their physical shell, which served as their dwelling for years, your loved one now exists solely as spirit. From this elevated perspective, they perceive everything with unprecedented clarity. They see their loved ones, witness their anguish, hear their cries, and feel their sorrow as intensely as if it were their own. It's a heart-rending yet profound moment. To empathize so deeply with those who mourn is a reflection of the immense love that binds them, a love so powerful that tears cascade like rainfall. You become acutely aware of the significance you held in their life and the profound emptiness your absence has created. But there is more to this transition. From their ethereal lookout, your loved one might say goodbye and offer a final farewell. No words are spoken, yet the message is imparted in a language beyond human comprehension, a language of the soul. This spiritual communication bears witness to our shared humanity, echoing love, gratitude, and serenity. It's a silent yet resonant farewell that deeply touches the hearts of those left behind. Through this interaction, the spirit of your departed communicates with the spirits of those who remain, bearing witness to their ultimate parting. And in these moments, a profound truth emerges, one that we all hold deep within, though often concealed in our innermost selves. Death is not a conclusion, but a transformation, a passage to something new. As your beloved watches from beyond, they see clearly that the value of life is not in the duration of one's years, but in the love shared, the relationships forged, and the lasting effects on those left behind. A voice from heaven declares, "Fortunate are those who pass away in the Lord henceforth." Indeed, the Spirit confirms, they will find peace from their toils as their actions live on. From their celestial viewpoint, your loved one perceives the essence of the life they led. It's a time of personal reckoning, not about judgment, but about undeniable truth. In these moments, they come to understand the true importance of love, empathy, and cherished memories. Even though they have shed their earthly form, their influence remains potent. The spirit bids farewell yet never vanishes, imprinting a lasting impact on the hearts of those who cherished them. This moment is charged with intense emotions and a profound sense of peace. Amid this quiet goodbye, your loved one realizes that while their earthly existence is over, the bonds of love persist. Love endures beyond life, an eternal truth that ultimately transcends the bounds of death. Number 4. They appear in the dreams of the living to bid farewell. Occasionally, after passing away, individuals linger briefly in this realm. They do this to visit locations they feel drawn to for various reasons. One significant reason is to say farewell to family members who weren't present at their passing, and to bring them peace. Therefore, it's not uncommon for people to encounter their departed loved ones in dreams or sense their presence, often unaware that they have already passed. At the moment they are seen in these dreams, the deceased travel as a wave of energy, touching the dreams of those they cherished. Your loved one felt their final breath leave them, and in that instant everything transformed. They were freed from the pain and the burden of their physical body. They became pure, unbound energy. Yet they did not depart immediately. They were held back by a force more potent than death itself, love. From this newfound vantage point, your loved ones viewed everything with profound clarity. They realized they had shed their physical form, but were not ready to leave entirely. There were still places they needed to visit, goodbyes they needed to say. It seemed they had one last duty to fulfill, a sacred mission to complete before transitioning to the next realm. Initially, your loved one visited their sister. She had not been present at his passing, which had deeply troubled her. He found her asleep, her face marked by the weariness of grief. He came close, bending over her, and though he spoke no words, his presence conveyed everything. He will command his angels to protect you wherever you go. While he was not an angel, his role at that moment was to bring solace and tranquility. His sister, still deep in sleep, experienced a sudden ease, a wave of calm enveloping her. In that moment, she sensed that all would be well. However, his journey was not solely for her. He knew there were others who also needed closure, even if they were unaware. The cousin they hadn't seen for years, the old friend forever remembered. Each felt a lingering touch of his spirit. He manifested in their dreams, or as an unexpected gust of wind, and although they might not have realized it consciously, deep down, they felt that this was his way of saying goodbye. During his final voyage, he came to understand something that had eluded him in life. Death was not a cessation, but rather a passage. Love endures endlessly, and just like energy, like light, he moved among the places and people he cherished, igniting a spark of his love in each. He realized that these sparks would keep glowing in the hearts of those he left behind, even after he crossed over to the other realm. The time had arrived for your loved one. He made his farewells, provided comfort, and concluded all his earthly matters. He then felt the pull of the eternal, a deep peace beckoning him to come and rest. With a final glance, he surrendered to the call, confident that he had accomplished his purpose and that God would erase every tear from his eyes. There would be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying, nor pain, for all former things had passed away. Your loved one dissolved into the light, yet his presence, his love, and the marks he left endure in this world, in the hearts of those he forever touched. Number 5. Viewing their own life as a cinematic experience. As they transition, individuals start to see their existence as if it were a movie, where both positive and negative moments are replayed. They reflect on whether they truly enjoyed and were content with their lives. This cinematic view is given to them so they can relive these pivotal experiences and fully grasp the essence of their earthly existence. When your loved one crossed the threshold that separates life from eternity, they did not vanish into nothingness. Instead, they entered a unique realm where time loses its traditional structure, blending past and present into a singular tapestry of memories. In this transcendent state, a profound and revealing occurrence unfolds. The entirety of your loved one's life rolls out before them like a film, complete with a series of vivid images, sounds, and emotions. Each episode, from the earliest days of childhood to the final moments, is showcased with striking clarity. In this space, there are no deceptions or illusions. Everything is revealed precisely as it occurred, with no truth hidden or secret left undisclosed. This is the raw, unvarnished reality, the sum total of a life laid bare in its fullness. Your dear one observes the joyous times, those moments of sheer delight when laughter permeated the air and love felt everlasting. Yet they also witness the challenging times, the errors made, choices pursued in shadows, and the words they long to retract. We all must stand before the judgment seat of Christ, so that everyone may receive their due for actions done in the body, be they good or evil. This isn't about condemnation, but rather a moment for reflection, a chance to fully comprehend the life your dear one experienced. They ponder if they were truly content, if they cherished each day, if their love was sufficient, if they lived with intent. It is a deep introspection that reaches the core of their soul, because ultimately what counts is not just the actions taken, but the manner in which they were lived. Teach us to count our days so we may develop a wise heart. Now, in the transition between realms, they seek the wisdom that comes from a life well spent, And amidst it all, your dear one realizes a crucial truth. Life was not flawless, but it was woven with moments that shaped their very being. Laughter, tears, victories, and setbacks all served a purpose, perhaps not fully grasped during their lifetime, but now becoming clear. In this final reflection, your loved one is not alone. A divine presence is with them, guiding this introspective journey. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Throughout their life, God was a constant presence, and now He unveils the complete truth of your loved one's life. At the conclusion of this process, your loved one realizes that true happiness was not a destination, but the journey itself. The real treasures were not material, but found in shared experiences, acts of love, and the quest for inner peace. With this new understanding, they find peace, prepared to move forward towards eternity, content in knowing their life, despite its flaws, was fully embraced. Thus, with this final insight, your loved one departs from this life feeling fulfilled, for while life was not always straightforward, each moment was invaluable. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now, with a light heart and a peaceful soul, your loved one moves toward the welcoming light ahead. Number 6. Encountering a radiant illumination. Individuals who have undergone near-death experiences frequently recount witnessing an overwhelmingly brilliant light, feeling an unparalleled sense of tranquility, or encountering a vision of an idyllic realm, an Eden they are reluctant to depart from. Yet they must return if their time has not arrived. For those whose moment has come, this luminous presence is their destined path, the sanctuary they are drawn to, where they will reside in the glorious realm often spoken about. Your loved one has arrived at this juncture that each of us will face, the point at which our mortal life fades and eternity unfolds like an expansive horizon. There was no dread, merely a profound stillness that embraced their essence. Suddenly they were bathed in light. Not just any light, but one that was vivid, warm, and all-encompassing. It seemed every aspect of their soul was irresistibly pulled towards it by a force far more formidable than any they had encountered during their lifetime. As they drew closer to this light, they glimpsed a realm of unimaginable beauty, a sanctuary, a realm of perpetual peace, where time ceases to exist, and where anguish and sorrow are merely echoes of the past. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? This was the haven that had been readied for them, their ultimate resting place where eternal peace awaited. Your loved one experienced an immense tranquility, unlike anything they had known on earth. There was no hurry, no urgency. The past, with its burdens and worries, faded away, replaced by a calm that enveloped them fully. It was as though every hurt, every pain melted away in the light, leaving only the purest essence of their spirit. For many people who have undergone near-death experiences, this vision of light and this ethereal place represent only a fleeting moment before they are revived. However, for your loved one, this marked the conclusion of their worldly existence and the commencement of an everlasting life in the heavenly realm, often depicted in Christian teachings. The phenomenon of perceiving a light at death is often seen as an encounter with the divine, a manifestation of God's glory, or the passage into His domain. This light symbolizes God's direction and affection. While the Bible does not specifically detail the phenomenon of seeing light at the moment of death, it provides various passages that illuminate this concept within Christian beliefs. The Scriptures portray God as light, a representation of His sanctity, purity, and majesty. In John 1, it is proclaimed that God is light, and in Him there is no darkness at all. This light signifies the truth and everlasting life that God extends to those who believe. As individuals approach death and perceive this light, Christians view it as drawing near to the Creator, depicted as pure and radiant. In John chapter 8, Jesus declares himself the light of the world, stating, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." This statement reinforces the belief that followers of Christ will not be engulfed by darkness at death, but instead will be led by the light towards eternal life. The vision of light at the moment of death is often interpreted as the realization of God's promise to guide souls into his kingdom. In the book of Revelation, God depicts the New Jerusalem as a city that does not require sun or moon for light, because the glory of God itself illuminates it, with the Lamb as its lamp. This vivid depiction supports the belief that the light witnessed by those nearing death is an early glimpse of God's magnificent presence, a welcoming into heavenly realms. As your loved one advanced towards the light, their understanding deepened. They realized that their earthly existence was just a preamble, a preparatory stage for their ultimate destination. Echoing the biblical sentiment, "For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it." They grasped that life's true aim was to ready oneself for this transcendent juncture, to arrive at a place where the soul resides eternally. Thus, with a final glance at the earthly realm they were departing, your loved one embraced the light completely. There were no tears or sorrowful goodbyes, only a deep sense of accomplishment and fulfillment at having reached their life's goal. In that moment, they felt perfectly placed, at peace in the eternal sanctuary they were meant to inhabit forever. Seventh on the list, understanding the purpose of life. Our loved ones uncover profound insights into their own existence and purpose. They come to realize that their life's events were tailored for their benefit and spiritual growth, affirming that nothing was coincidental and all was a matter of choice. They acknowledge the fruitful journey of their lives, recognizing significant spiritual progress. Having passed beyond the realm of death, your loved one now exists in a dimension where time and space merge into pure awareness. Absent are any pain or confusion, replaced by clear, profound realizations about their previous life. In this heightened state of awareness, they grasp a truth with newfound intensity. Every aspect of their life had a purpose. As they float in this transcendent space, a powerful truth unfolds. Every single moment, whether minor or monumental, was part of a meticulous plan. There was no randomness. Every event had its moment, and everything under heaven occurs in its own time. They now see that each happiness, each challenge, and every decision was a piece of a larger scheme they had chosen before their birth. Your loved one comes to understand that their life was more than just a sequence of days. It was a pathway to spiritual growth. The obstacles and trials they endured were not punishments or mere misfortunes, but rather lessons, chances for personal development that polished their soul as a diamond is formed under pressure. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. They now realize this work was their own spiritual progression, and every moment of their life was a step towards refining their spirit. The impact of this realization is profound. It is a time of intense introspection where the significance of their choices and experiences becomes clear. Was their life meaningful? Did they achieve the purpose they were meant to fulfill? Then, with striking clarity, they recognize that indeed their life was a triumph, not in worldly terms, but in spiritual ones. Their spirit expanded and matured. They learned the lessons they were meant to learn. With this newfound knowledge comes deep reflection. They see that in life, We often get lost in superficial pursuits, forgetting that our existence is meant for something much greater than merely living. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. At that moment, your loved one realizes that true transformation doesn't come from accumulating wealth or seeking accolades, but from nurturing the spirit through love, forgiveness, and the pursuit of inner peace. As each realization dawns on them, there are no doubts or regrets, only a profound understanding that every experience they had was purposeful. Every tear shed, every smile shared, every act of love, and every mistake made were crucial elements of a puzzle that they can now view in its complete form. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. In death, the truth becomes clearer than ever before. All that once seemed inexplicable now clearly contributed to their spiritual growth. With this newfound understanding, your loved one feels ready to advance on their journey. They have accomplished their earthly mission, absorbed the necessary lessons, and are now prepared for the next phase. They recognize that their path does not conclude with death. Instead, the evolution of the soul persists into the afterlife. They proceed with the peace of knowing they did their utmost and led a fulfilling and meaningful life. In this final moment of insight, they depart with love, leaving behind a legacy of enlightenment and growth. Their earthly journey may have ended, but their spirit marches on, enriched with peace, wisdom, and the assurance that everything unfolded exactly as it was meant to. Number 8. Perceiving the unseen. As you advance towards the light, visions of familiar faces, those who passed away earlier, relatives who await you with welcoming embraces, begin to emerge. Fortunate are those summoned to the feast of the Lamb. In this realm, invisible to the earthly gaze, souls reunite in jubilant gatherings. Absent are pain and suffering, replaced by a pure love that defies mortality. However, what unfolds before you isn't merely a gathering. The surrounding scenery morphs into a landscape of extraordinary beauty. Although unlike anything witnessed on earth, it simultaneously feels known, as though the paradise once envisioned in dreams materializes before you. The victor will inherit everything, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. This destination is the ultimate promise, a perpetual haven where every vow is realized. In this new heaven and new earth, grandeur reigns, untarnished by former decay. The hues are more vibrant, the air fresher, and each step forward brings you into a realm of flawless, pristine existence. And I beheld a new heaven and a new earth, for the former heaven and the former earth had vanished, and the sea was no more. As your loved one steps into this transcendent domain, they find themselves within the sacred city known as the New Jerusalem. According to the Book of Revelation, the city's streets are like transparent gold, shimmering and clear. There is no darkness here. The divine presence lights up every nook and cranny. The city walls sparkle with various precious stones, and the gates, crafted from immense pearls, stand perpetually open to welcome the redeemed. As they stroll along these resplendent streets, your loved one notices they are not wandering alone. Angels, in their breathtaking beauty and purity, encircle them, serenading with gentle, harmonious tunes. And the sound of numerous angels around the throne, the beings and the elders, was vast, numbering 10,000 by 10,000. These celestial guides lead them towards the throne of God, where they are greeted with a spectacle of divine splendor and omnipotence. Upon reaching the throne, they behold God, enshrouded in a brilliance so profound it cannot be gazed upon directly, yet his presence resonates through their very essence. And I observed him who sat on the throne, radiant like jasper and carnelian, encircled by a rainbow resembling an emerald. In front of the throne there lies a sea of glass, serene and flawless, mirroring the utmost purity of the divine. Number 9. An encounter with God, where the soul recognizes its renewed existence, feeling complete and luminous. Your loved one has transcended their earthly life. As the final heartbeat fades into a soft echo, they discover themselves in an utterly new realm, a place where time ceases and peace surrounds them. In this place, there is no pain or fear, only a profound peace that saturates every aspect of his existence. At this moment, he becomes aware of a presence that has always been with him, though he might not have fully recognized it before. It is an overwhelming feeling, an ineffable force that surrounds him and fills him with a love so pure and complete it defies description. We currently see as if through a foggy mirror, but then we will see clearly, face to face. For the first time, your loved one vividly perceives what was previously only sensed, the presence of God. This encounter surpasses any earthly interaction. A luminous brilliance manifests before him, brighter than any sun, yet this light does not blind. Instead, it enlightens. Deeply, your loved one no longer views God as a remote or unreachable entity, but as the fundamental source of all goodness and truth. Bathed in this light, he sees himself not merely as a transient creature, but as an integral part of God's everlasting design. It's a moment of absolute clarity, where all uncertainties and fears dissolve in God's presence. Your loved one experiences a peace so intense that it surpasses all earthly comparisons. In your presence is the fullness of joy. At your right hand, eternal delights. In this divine meeting, there's no sense of judgment or condemnation, only an overwhelming wave of unconditional love that surrounds him like a comforting embrace. Yet, within this tranquility lies a sense of amazement, as encountering God transcends merely witnessing light or sensing a presence. It means fully comprehending for the first time both the essence of God and what it truly means to belong to His creation. In this moment, your loved one comes to realize that God is not merely the Creator, but also the Alpha and Omega of all existence. During this profound interaction, he acknowledges that God was aware of every moment of his life, every decision leading him right to this pivotal revelation. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord. This deep realization instills a sense of gratitude and awe within him, dissolving any burdens of life, along with its joys and sorrows, in the overwhelming light of this truth. Ultimately, in this sacred meeting, there is a fusion of spirits, a time when your loved one no longer feels apart from God, but entirely one with Him. This feels like coming home, a reunion with the foundation of all love and life, for in Him we exist, we move, and we are complete. At this juncture, your loved one doesn't just see God, but knows Him in a manner that surpasses any earthly understanding. This encounter represents the culmination of all your loved one's earthly experiences, marking the end of his worldly journey and the commencement of his eternal existence in the divine presence. With this profound realization, your loved one completely lets go, comforted by the knowledge that he is held in the embrace of an everlasting love, in the company of a God who has cherished him since before time began. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. In this state of indescribable peace, your loved one merges into the eternal light of God, having found his true place of belonging. If the revelations of what people encounter at the end of life have caught your attention, you won't want to miss our next video. The upcoming presentation will explore what the Bible says about cremation after death. This sensitive topic piques the curiosity of many seeking to gain a deeper understanding. In our next video, we will delve into the scriptures to uncover insights and perspectives that may offer comfort and clarity. Remember to click on the video that appears on the screen and continue your exploration of knowledge and faith with us. See you there.